Last week, UKIP elected Henry Bolton as their new leader. Who? A totally unknown candidate who came out of nowhere. Well, actually, he came from somewhere, the Liberal Democrats, and from the European Commission, where he worked as a consultant. People gave Anne-Marie Waters shit for being ex-Labour. This guy was from the Lib Dems, the Liberal Democrat Party, for God's sake. He doesn't want a cap on immigration either. And he even suggested that UKIP would become the UK Nazi Party if Anne-Marie Waters won. This election was UKIP's chance to become relevant again. We're still battling Brexit, but it's in the hands of the Tories now, and voters don't want to just focus on Brexit alone. Anne-Marie Waters was talking about Islam, immigration and the NHS. Her policies were broad and attractive, but the way she was treated was shocking, not just by the press, but by UKIP in general. I think the new leader's awful, and what he said was wrong, but I didn't expect to see Nigel Farage attacking her as well. On the day of the result, Farage said on LBC Radio that he very much hopes Anne-Marie Waters leaves the party today. Then he was asked whether he would encourage Henry Bolton to expel her from the party. And instead of respecting the thousands of members who voted for Anne-Marie Waters, he suggested that the main problem with the party right now is the fact that the leader doesn't have the power to expel her and get rid of her. He then called members of the National Executive Committee, who are volunteers who run for election and manage the day-to-day business of the party, he called them weekend warriors. That's probably because it contained people like Anish Patel and Elizabeth Jones, who clearly supported Anne-Marie. This was his column in The Telegraph. He even claimed that Anne-Marie Waters' platform wasn't so much about Islamic terrorism, but was about attacking an entire religion. I'd call it more telling the truth about that religion, identifying flaws in that religion, which he should be doing. Well, so what anyway? He said that he could never have supported that kind of policy. And I think we know that perfectly well at this point now. During Anne-Marie's campaign, Nigel told the BBC that UKIP would die if it elected her. But I think by electing a former European Union bureaucrat who calls concerned working class people Nazis, it's going to kill the party in a matter of months anyway. How does UKIP expect to win elections again when their leader insults a majority of the British public? At least one half of people in Britain are concerned about Islam. One poll by Combres showed that 56% of Brits believe Islam is incompatible with British values. 72% of people in that same poll said that they feel that religion is viewed negatively in the UK. And a third of the British public believe Islam promotes violence. Other polls have showed around the same, with another suggesting 47% of British people believe that there is a clash of British values and Islam. We're not talking about a small fringe of people here. This is a huge section of the British public. When Farage and Bolton demonise people for talking about this, they're not just showing their true colours, but they're blindly leading UKIP down the road to total collapse. They say there's no route to success for a counter-jihad party in Britain. But just weeks ago, Farage stood on the stage and supported Alternative for Deutschland. The AfD, their main point of focus is Islam. That's their main election campaign. The party then went on to win 94 seats in Parliament. Geert Wilders, if you look at his whole campaigning, the focus is entirely on Islam. Stop Islam is his slogan. He's been the most outspoken counter-jihad politician in the world, and he came second in the last elections. How can Farage say there was no way a party could replicate these same successes in the UK? The majority of the British public share these concerns. And in fact, 30% of them didn't even vote in the last election. You know, if Nigel Farage, after challenging Brexit, would have gone on to lead the party to speak about Islam, to confront Islam, you'd have won the hearts and minds of the working class people across this whole country. But you didn't. You didn't. You've never done it. And now you demonise and you attack and you slander people who are doing it. People are disenfranchised. They're looking for someone to support. Then comes along Anne-Marie Waters, a female gay feminist from Ireland. And you somehow think she's a Nazi. And then there's the fact that Nigel has let down thousands of members who supported both him and Anne-Marie. There were thousands who voted for her and thousands who joined the party to vote for her, who were then not sent the ballot papers. Farage did what the left has done to him for years. And I couldn't count the amount of times the press and the left have called him a racist. And now he's doing exactly the same to the supporters of Anne-Marie. I do wonder if he only supported Bolton because he thought it was the best way to beat Anne-Marie. Or if maybe he wanted a candidate that he could control. You have a lady here. A lady who's really put her life on the line. You know that fighting Brexit alone doesn't get you murdered, Nigel. You may have had some pub lunches rudely interrupted by Antifa, but you don't know what it's like to live with the constant threat of being murdered by Muslim men. Anne-Marie was willing to put her life on the line for that, and you threw her under the bus and those who supported her. Why would you have done that? I didn't know whether to make this video at all, because I love what Nigel Farage has done in terms of Brexit. I think he'll be remembered in history as one of the most poignant political figures our country's had. And I'm grateful, entirely grateful for what he's given us in this country. But this isn't a small thing. You've let so many people down. Nigel, you've insulted millions of people across the country. There's a life outside of Brexit. You don't seem to see that. We can fight for Brexit as well as being honest and truthful about Islam. Do you really think leaving the EU is going to solve all of our problems? And if not, when exactly are you going to stop calling people racist for admitting that? Speaking the truth about Islam does not make you a racist or a Nazi. If you agree and you want to see more, please log on to TommyRobinson.com and support my new show.